Anand.
Hi, ma'am.
Sorry, I was just finishing another call, so it took me a minute to answer yours.
Okay, ma'am. It's okay.
How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. And you?
I'm very well, thank you. I've been busy.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
What would you like to focus on today, Anand?
Today I would focus general topic conversation, ma'am.
Okay. So I have some question cards. Can I ask you a question, or do you want to do the lesson plan that's on the screen?
Uh, Discuss the particular topics. Mostly, I would discuss in education related. That means study focus
Okay.
and attend the examination.
Uh-huh.
These are topics we would like to discuss.
Okay. So can I ask you about education in India?
Yes, ma'am. Indian education is best in comparison with the Western countries. It is very well
Mm-hmm.
because the most talented peoples is selected in the global.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the companies as well as most of the Indians is service sector is very well in
Mm-hmm.
India.
Mm-hmm.
As the only reasons in our country is education is very best in comparisons to South Asian countries and Western Asian countries. It
Mm-hmm.
is always. Yes, ma'am.
And if there was something you could change about the education system in India, what would you change?
I would like to change only to provide internet facility to rural areas as well as to provide a cheap and best educations free
Uh-huh.
of cost to the
Uh-huh.
all over the to the all the states of peoples in India. It
Okay.
is the
Why
best.
do you think that's important?
The importance is only the way because the good and best of the educations is provided nowadays is through the money and the private institutions in India,
Mm-hmm.
especially who have a better and wealth. So those people is provide the good educations to their childrens.
Mm-hmm.
So if the education is most important because in our country. Depending on the growth only for the youth,
Mm-hmm.
so youth education is very much
Mm-hmm.
so educations, I think it is a very need to provide the free of cost to all over the students in youth peoples especially.
Okay. And now India is such a huge country, right? So there are lots of rural pockets around India. So how would one provide free education all over the country?
uh, it is not possible to provide all over the country to free of cost. It is possible if do the
Mm-hmm.
things in India is provided the free of cost in educations, but I think it is not sufficient to the peoples, to
Mm-hmm.
the youth of our country.
Mm-hmm.
It is the more efficient in comparisons. I think I watched the YouTube videos from the Western educations and the Indian education in comparison to the videos. The most of the educations is provided the Western Americans and England peoples is provided the same education which is the kept in private institution in India to the.
Okay.
Yes. I
Mm-hmm.
think I need the same educations if provide the in our countries. Definitely we will the good country and growth definitely in futures in
Mm-hmm.
our country. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, if you had to go to a school and speak to the students, Anand, what kind of advice would you give students?
So I give only the advice. Educations is a very must in our peoples.
Mm-hmm.
If all the peoples to have the education is not in the particular youth.
Mm-hmm.
If I need the knowledge and develop our educations is it is the age factors, age and economy. It is not the break
Mm-hmm.
obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone to give the to develop our skills, definitely possible nowadays because the internet is cheapest in India,
Mm-hmm.
but not free, but
Mm-hmm.
not in rural areas.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone to develop the in educations only
Mm-hmm.
possible uh, wo- herself
Mm-hmm.
self only.
Okay.
uh, yes, and no one to catch up the things only for educations in our country, in
Mm-hmm.
our human being.
Mm-hmm.
If I kept the wealth, if I kept the post, if I kept the powers, someone's take from them.
Mm-hmm.
But only the things is not kept and not kept only for education. So we
That's
will
true.
develop only for educations in our futures. To
Mm-hmm.
it is possible to develop in our family, not only in our village, not only it is the futures of our country.
Mm-hmm.
So that education is must each and every student and peoples.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. What about so you said internet now, so many children have access to internet, which is useful for education, but are there any problems because of that? Do you think it's good for children to have access to internet?
Yes, ma'am. Nowadays is it is unwanted, unrelated educations, unrelated things is also provided in the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So people's in India nowadays, I think it is very initiative to the governments.
Mm-hmm.
That means unrelated, unwanted movies, videos, and ads is also restricted by the government. It is a very good initiative. It is not sufficient. We will only things to strict actions needed to take in futures.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. So
So
that our
what kind of strict action though? How will you have strict action on children?
it is strict actions is means the using the internet. If your children's using the internet unrelated the educations, that
Mm-hmm.
means games, playing games,
Mm-hmm.
and watching movie, and watching unrelated topics, and
Mm-hmm.
unrelated things. If
Mm-hmm.
I spend the children's,
Mm-hmm.
definitely to block the IDs, and to inform the particular servers.
Okay.
So that the students and below the age of peoples is not spend the unrelated things,
Mm-hmm.
as well as go all over the peoples is very needed to block such website, such
Mm-hmm.
things, so
Mm-hmm.
that we focus only the which is needed to that things. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
But isn't it useful sometimes to look at or read unrelated things because then we get a broader perspective of the world?
Yes, ma'am. Entertainment is also needed for every each and everyone, but it is not a must. It is
Mm-hmm.
the one of the part of the things of education. Education is a very must, because it is not a part, but it is unrelated. That means I think it is not needed.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every student, especially student, it is not blocked. It is only for blocked by the government. I think I want to this.
Okay. All right. So, Anand, if you had to start a business
Yes,
uh,
yes.
to help the country in some way, what kind of business would you start? What do you think is a useful business for you to start with your skills?
Uh, I would like to start the business for only education's trust.
Hmm.
Education trust I want to start in futures if I give to the my God
Yes.
some things. Otherwise is whichever useful for the poor peoples, as well as whichever useful for the all over the peoples in India.
Mhm.
I will definitely start in futures.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
yes,
what
ma'am.
would your trust do? What would the trust be? What would be their main goal or their main activity if you start an
My main
education trust?
education trust, that means I need to only focus for the poor peoples, which is not affordable to educations in
Hmm.
foreign countries. Otherwise I need to change the education system, because in comparison with Delhi government, as comparison with Tamil Nadu government is
Hmm.
mostly we advanced, but one things is not change. uh, Now I tell you, that means in Delhi government, the schools, environment, atmospheres, books, and teachers, what teachers related lectures is all over totally changed in same in Western countries. I
Okay.
think most of the schools I am visit nowadays. So the schools atmosphere is very well and as well as the atmosphere is same for the private institutions.
Okay. Hmm.
and and the teachers of all the teachers is studying in foreign countries in every day.
Okay.
And the and the, as well as so that we can provide the better educations to our countries. to our state. So the same things I want to implement in our state. Each and
Okay.
every government school teachers is attend the classes how to improve our students educations, how to improve the not only for education, it is most important for the cultural activities as well as discipline is one of the very must how to
Mhm.
improve. Nowadays all of the unrelated unwanted activities there, so that I have to youth protect the something unwanted.
Mhm.
So all the things it is needed to implement in our state, that ma'am.
Okay. You mentioned discipline. Now, in India, in the past, they used to cane students and make them stand in the sun and all those things. In other countries, they ask them to sit in the corner or they're not allowed to touch the students. What do you think is the best way to discipline school children?
Discipline it is means improve the educations, it is improve the atmosphere we provide. If I good and better atmosphere we provide the students, definitely their disciplines is also developed.
Mm-hmm.
If I teach the someone uh, uh, rudely, definitely the students thinks it is not attend the class. The teacher is very rude, so I cannot attend the classes. I cannot study in my futures. So it is the things avoid, so that we can create the better atmospheres,
Mm-hmm.
so that our student uh, motivate in each and every
Mm-hmm.
situation. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very nice. Okay, I need to think of another question. If you think all school students should learn a foreign language, what foreign language should they learn? What do you think should be made compulsory?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to teach the foreign language in our particularly in India, especially in our state.
Okay.
First one is the Spanish is very fluently speaking language in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and another one is English must. Spanish, English. One is the foreign countries. Each and every student choose their own choice. That
Okay.
means Spanish, German, and French. It is the three most language to provide the each and every student, as well as English and Tamil is very must to each and every student study. So
Mm-hmm.
so that we can good educations and good knowledge in futures
Do you
of
think we'd
students.
have enough Spanish teachers if you wanted to teach Spanish across all the schools? Do you
Yes,
think
ma'am.
we
We
have?
can if a country is growth very well, definitely we can afford the cost and the may give the good educations and language. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nowadays, a lot of students are learning languages online. Like you're doing English online with me, they learn other languages online. Do you think that's effective, or should they be in a classroom and learn in the traditional way?
Yes, ma'am. It is effective. Online education is it is also very useful because it is it's not a part of reading and writing.
Mm-hmm.
We can speak spoken
Mm-hmm.
through virtual media, so definitely it is very useful.
Mm-hmm.
So another one is main focus is read and write, so that we can lots of information from the other source of countries.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very useful, but it is also useful if I don't know without no languages. It is the only part of I can able to speak. I can able to Hindi speaks. So it
Mm-hmm.
is a very good so to communicate the each and every persons in the northern India, so that
True.
many more informations I can get in related with my field. So
Mm-hmm.
it is very good, ma'am.
Yes, languages are very useful, a very useful skill to have. What are some of the other skills that you think students should have besides academics? What other skills should students have when they leave school they should be equipped with?
Sports it is one of sports is also available for all
Mm-hmm.
the schools. It
Mm-hmm.
is not focused nowadays because most of the student is studying only for study in the classrooms, but not
Yeah.
focus in the sports.
Okay.
I would like to implement one of the subject in Tamil Nadu
Mm-hmm.
government in yoga meditation is very
Yes.
needed to implement, so that our youth well disciplined in futures.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the
Very
only
nice.
thing. Yes, ma'am.
Well
uh,
done, Anand. You spoke for 15 minutes and our
yes, ma'am.
time is almost up. So
Yes, ma'am. It
maybe
is the books, yoga meditations books
very
to
nice.
implement. Yes, ma'am. And you need to implement the country in our states. Yes, ma'am.